Hi, Steve. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much. I'm coming at you from Toronto, Canada, and
Oh,
thank you because you brought this wonderful film to our Hot Docs Festival, so to great acclaim. So congratulations on that. And I want to ask you right off the bat, you have given us so many great documentaries, so many stories about Chicago, but was the mayoral race, like this is so unique. Was this something that was always on your radar and you thought, I'm going to follow this? Or did it just kind of fall into place for you?
it wasn't on my radar in the sense that all these years I've thought, gee, it'd be great to follow a mayoral race. Because frankly, even though I've enjoyed watching documentaries that center on elections, it's never been honestly a big desire of mine to make one. But this one was different. And what was different was that it was the most wide open mayoral race in Chicago history. And it seemed like anybody could believe they could become the next mayor of Chicago, and that was a really exciting prospect to want to grapple with and capture. And Chicago itself at a crossroads, and this election was front and center with that. And so it just made sense that this was the time to do a film that I've always wanted to do, which was a portrait of Chicago, but center it around this mayoral election.
Yeah, and the film explores so many deep truths. Sometimes things are uncomfortable. I just was wondering what ultimately challenged you. There was a lot going on here.
Yeah, yeah, there's a lot going on. Well, no, it's always a challenge when you set out to do a portrait of a city, especially a city as big and diverse and complex as Chicago. Of course, we didn't get to every neighborhood. Of course, we can't tell the full story of Chicago. We can only tell what we can possibly pull off in the time we had. But so that was a challenge. One of the other challenges is that the front runner candidates in the race, the perceived front runners, they didn't really want to let us in bed with them in any way. They're in the film. We went to events and you see them, and I think it's a revealing portrait of them, but it's not through them granting special access. We tended to get special access to the more minor candidates, and that was fine with me because I found the minor candidates to be more interesting to me as subjects and as candidates. And we were fortunate enough that one of those candidates actually ended up becoming mayor of Chicago.
I know, right? And yeah, it's unbelievable. And what I love too so much, especially when you're making a documentary, look, you never know what's going to happen, who you're going to run into, what kind of characters you're going to, get meet. And what I love so much about this is that we do meet some people. Like, for example, two that kind of stood out for me was your Uber driver, the one that you got into the car with, how great she was, and also in the barber shop in the South Side. What happened there? I mean, that's incredible.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it both of those were very special for me. In the barbershop, we went into that barbershop thinking that we were going to get one thing, which was to get people to talk about Harith Augustus, who was a barber there who had been killed in an altercation with the cops, and we just wanted to find out more about who he was, right? But then this postal worker wandered in for the first time, and it became a whole different thing altogether. And with Tracy, the driver, we often use Lyft or Uber to take us from location to location when we were shooting, and that was what happened there. And she saw the camera and she said, "What are you guys doing?" And when I described what we were doing, she said, "Oh, I love Amara Enya." And I said, "Wait, do you mind if I talk to you?" So I got out of the car, got in the front seat, and she started out talking about Amar, but as you know, it led into a very much more poignant and powerful place as she talked. And that happens a lot. And I always treasure those moments when people are trusting enough to give you that kind of unvarnished truth for them.
Yeah, it's great. It's wonderful. It's so those are moments that so stand out. And this thing. I know it's 4 hours. It could have been 18. I mean, I'm sure you had so much material to use. But at the end of the day, Steve, Chicago. It's a tough city. We're all going through a tough time right now, and we have been for this year, 2020. But Chicago, especially. And I just wondered, after making this, did you have a different view of politics? Was it something that changed you? specifically making this doc?
Yeah, I think that Chicago has this well-deserved reputation as a very rough and tumble political town. And I think you see that on display in this series. But at the same time, when you look at who became mayor, this was not someone that was part of the political system. This was not someone who had held elective office before. This was someone who was considered a decidedly not front-runner candidate. And so, in some ways, there's some real inspiration, I think, to be derived from what happened in this election. Now, we didn't show this at Hot Doc because it wasn't done yet, but we went on to make an episode 5 that deals with the pandemic and this time we're living in now in the wake of George Floyd. And you get to see the mayor now trying to grapple with being mayor of this city and how hard that is. So there's a lot of sobering truth in that episode about the realities of governing in America today in a big city.
Yeah, yeah, it's fascinating. It's wonderful. This is such a great series. Thank you so much for it, and thank you for all the stuff you get. Your things. Yeah, your docs are amazing. So what a thrill to have the opportunity to talk to you this morning. Best of luck with everything, and just stay safe and stay healthy, my friend.